Ladies and gentlemen, one area on the Nintendo Switch that you would think wouldn't be a very strong area in gaming is open world games. Like you're telling me this little handheld console that seems to be generations behind other big game companies has great open world games? Something isn't adding up, but you would really be surprised. So in this video, we're going to go over what I think are the top 10 best open world games on the Nintendo Switch. Let's go and get right into it. Yeah, open world games are awesome, but when you can take an open world game on the go, like playing handheld, I feel like it takes it to a new extreme. Like, we're playing open world games in the open world. That has to count for something, right? Before we get started, if you can hit a like and subscribe, that would truly mean the world to me. At the time of recording this video, we are 5 subscribers away from 13,000. So truly, thank you for all the support, and let's go ahead and get right into the video. So the first time I made this video was like probably almost 2 years ago now, or 18 months ago, and at the time of that video, I had Breath of the Wild on this list. And I still think I prefer Breath of the Wild to Tears of the Kingdom. I don't want to say it's a better game, but I just connect to it more. But Tears of the Kingdom is now the ultimate open world game on the Switch. It takes a term open world to new heights and to new depths. Do you get it? Heights and depths? Down below, up in the sky? You get it. You've caught on here. You truly can explore this open world any way you seem fit. And Tears of the Kingdom did grow on me. It took me a long time to finish the game. I had beat Breath of the Wild 4 times. I feel like if they bring it back for the Switch 2, I'll jump in right again and play it again. But Tears of the Kingdom, I started off strong. I played it every day for like 2 weeks, and then I just didn't play it for months, and I don't know why. I am a diehard Zelda fan. But 6 months later, I came back, and something clicked, and I really fell in love with it. Moving forward, I hope that all 3D Zelda games don't happen to be open world, because I think I missed the more linear adventures, but if you're looking for an open world game on the Switch, this is where you should start. So a game that is heavily inspired by The Legend of Zelda is Immortals Fenyx Rising, and this is a fantastic open world game. This is another game that I've beat at least 2, maybe 3 times, and I loved every second of it. The whole turnoff for people was like, yeah, it's just a Zelda clone. And while there are times where you can see it's easily inspired by Breath of the Wild, it really does have its own features and its own game and its own identity. I think in this game they tackle Greek mythology, and it's such a nice spin on this style of gaming. It's like a Greek version of Zelda or something. Their writing is super freaking funny at times. The game is serious, but at the same time not serious, and it is so damn fun exploring this open world. One of my favorite things to do was get as high as I could in the game. Whoa, not that kind of high. What the hell is going on here? To get to the highest vantage point I could, and then just fly around and look at the world, because they really did make an incredible world here. I really can't recommend Immortals Fenyx Rising enough. So when we're talking about open world games, we're looking for games that have an open world. But what if that open world happens to be, well, an open universe with an infinite amount of open worlds? Well, then I think we stumbled onto something very special. When No Man's Sky was first coming out, it was labeled as like the greatest video game that will ever be. You can never run out of stuff to do. And the game came out and there was nothing really to do. But instead of just taking the money and running, they really have worked on this game nonstop. If I'm not mistaken, there are still updates coming out in 2024, and a great thing about this is all of the updates or DLC are 100% free. So No Man's Sky really turned it around, and if you're looking to get lost in a game, you truly can get lost in here. You can explore to the ends of time. So yeah, No Man's Sky easily deserves a spot on this list. So on the Nintendo Switch, we have games that seem like they shouldn't be on the Switch. And a lot of times we label those games impossible ports. I think the very first game that took that title on the Switch was The Witcher 3. And if you've played The Witcher 3 and you know how massive this game is, you'll probably scratch your head too wondering, is that even real? Can they possibly get The Witcher 3 on the Nintendo Switch? And if it's on the Switch, is it even playable? Some way, somehow, they got this massive game on the Switch. And let's keep it real here. This game looks and runs better pretty much every other place you can play it. But if you're like me, and you don't really mind taking a hit on graphics sometimes, as long as the game is perfectly fine, then the Switch is not a bad place to play The Witcher 3. And whenever I bring this up as a topic in conversation with people, I find out that some people have only played The Witcher 3 on the Switch, and that's the only time they've ever experienced this game. And I really find that very interesting. The Witcher 4 is currently being worked on right now. That's definitely not going to run on the Switch, but fingers crossed for the Switch too. So whenever I'm just thinking of open world games in general, not even on the Nintendo Switch, there are games that immediately pop into my mind. The first one is Grand Theft Auto 5. Is it on the Switch? No, it's not at all. But we do have the GTA trilogy, and is that going to be in this video? No, it's not. They did just update those games, and I think they are finally playable, so I do want to give credit where it's due. But if you're looking to scratch that GTA itch, I'm going to have to go with Saints Row 3. I actually didn't grow up playing Saints Row, and that sounds strange. I've been gaming my entire life. Over 2 decades at this point. I would go to my friend's house, and they would be playing Saints Row, but it almost seemed like too goofy for me, and I don't understand why I was being such a serious little kid. Like, this is stuff that I should have loved as a little kid. One day I was browsing the eShop, and I seen Saints Row 3 was like $6 or something, so I finally bought it, and I think I beat the entire game in like 4 or 5 days. I was addicted from the very moment I started playing. I like the whole like gang aspect of it, but you're doing dumbass things as a gang, so you're probably the goofiest gang known to man. Sure, the map isn't as big as something like GTA 5, but it's still a very solid open world game that is very fun to explore. And sometimes at night, when you're downtown in like this red light district, it looks absolutely freaking beautiful. The graphics still hold up incredibly well. So yeah, Saints Row 3 is easily one of the best open world games on the Switch. So let's keep it in the same universe. And what I mean by that is we were talking about Saints Row, but Saints Row was inspired by Grand Theft Auto. But Grand Theft Auto is in the same universe maybe as Red Dead Redemption. Does this make sense? I feel like Charlie right now, and It's Always Sunny, when he's explaining everything on that board. It doesn't make sense, but it does at the same time. Red Dead Redemption is on the Nintendo Switch. And yeah, this is another game I never experienced when it first came out. Earlier this year I went to New York for my birthday, so I had to stop by the Nintendo store, and I think I picked up this game and Star Ocean, the Second Story R, if I'm not mistaken. Now that I just said that, that's irrelevant. You don't need to know that I picked up that other game. All you need to know is I picked up Red Dead Redemption. I think Red Dead Redemption 2 is actually a prequel to this, so I did play them in chronological order, so it's not like I missed anything. And I gotta be honest, my expectations weren't really that high. I thought when people talked about this game, a lot of what made it good is just nostalgia. Like, how could it really hold up that well? But once I played it, it blew my expectations out of the water immediately. Like, it was a bigger game, a better game. The writing was better than I thought it was going to be. The characters had more depth than I thought they were going to be. The missions were so damn fun. I really got attached to the characters and their stories, and I wanted to go explore and do side quests. And before I knew it, I had sunk like 40 or 50 hours into this, and it had felt like it went by in a blink of an eye. And it's great to see how Red Dead Redemption started. Actually, I think Red Dead Redemption came from a Revolver game, Red Dead Revolver or something, but it's really cool to see how this game turned into the second one. I can't imagine what the third one will be. This is still an amazing open world game, even in 2024. So another amazing open world game on the Nintendo Switch is Assassin's Creed 4 Black Flag. It's actually my favorite Assassin's Creed game of all time. In my opinion, it's one of the last good Assassin's Creed games. I don't think you can actually buy this game by itself on the Switch. I think you have to buy it in something called the Rebel Collection, or some kind of Assassin's Creed collection, and I think you get this and maybe Assassin's Creed Brotherhood or Assassin's Creed 2 or something, but it's always very cheap on the eShop sales. It's like $15 and you're getting 2 games. I am in love with tropical settings in games. Sure, it's been done a million times. I don't care. I'm a sucker for it every single time. I started with Assassin's Creed 3, then I went to this one, then I played this one and thought, oh my god, they're just going to keep getting better and better. The next ones are going to be absolutely amazing. And yeah, that turns out that was not true. Assassin's Creed 4 still looks and runs amazing to this very day. Whether you're on land exploring the Caribbean or you're actually in the water, you really feel like you're a damn pirate. There's a rumor or a leak currently out that this game is getting remastered, and that will be the next Assassin's Creed game I probably play, but I'll be honest, it really doesn't need a remaster. This game holds up incredibly freaking well, and like I previously mentioned, this is an open world game you can truly get lost in. So the next open world game we're talking about is kind of unheard of. Maybe you've heard of it, maybe you haven't. I don't know, it kind of flew under the radar. Maybe only a few thousand people have played it. It's a tiny little game called Skyrim. Oh, you've heard of it? Okay, my bad. Skyrim is another game that I truly can't believe is on the Switch, or it's a game that I at least couldn't believe was going to be on the Switch. Now that we're in 2024 and we've seen all these amazing games make an appearance on the Switch, it's not that far-fetched that Skyrim, I guess, could run on the Switch. But do you remember that very first trailer or commercial of the Nintendo Switch? When they're first showing off games that would be on the Switch? Skyrim was shown off in that, and that was so crazy to me. They showed off Zelda, maybe Mario Kart, I think Splatoon, and Skyrim. I was like, what the hell? What a strange game to showcase for this new Nintendo console. And even though the Nintendo Switch is this hybrid console that can be handheld and a home console, when I think about it, I just think about it as a handheld console. So I was thinking Skyrim on a handheld console? Yeah, that's not gonna work. It can't work, right? It doesn't seem realistic. It turns out Skyrim works perfectly freaking fine on the Switch, and this is another game that people have experienced solely on the Switch. And I think that's so freaking cool because I feel like it's a game that should be experienced by pretty much everybody. So another game that should not be on the Switch, how is it even possible, is Hogwarts Legacy. This is one of the greatest open world games I have ever played. I played this game only on the Switch. It's the only way I've experienced it. From the time I started to the time I finished, I enjoyed every single second of it. This game has people pretty divided. You either absolutely freaking love the game like I do, or you think it's a little lackluster. I'm a diehard Harry Potter fan, so maybe I'm a little biased. I'm sure I'm biased, but I even like the Quidditch game on GameCube, so the bar of entry was pretty low for me, you know what I mean? This game really just kept surprising me, because every time you do a new storyline, or you meet new characters, you have to go to a new area, and it just kept opening up more areas, and more areas, and more areas. And when I finished the game, I'm sure there was areas that I haven't even explored, or maybe caves, or parts of the castle. If I were to play it again, I'll probably play it on my PS5 for a second playthrough, but I played it on my Switch. I loved every second of it. It is easily one of my favorite Switch games of all time. So again, fingers crossed that the sequel will be on the Switch too. And the last open world game we're talking about today is Kingdom Come Deliverance. And this game has been out for, I don't know, since 2018, 2019 or something, but it just came to the Nintendo Switch this year. And I really never heard about this game. I knew about it, but I just didn't really know anything. So it was what's the point of me even mentioning that I know about it? What the hell am I even talking about right now? I'm lost. This is what happens when you're a YouTuber. You just ramble. Sometimes stuff sounds good. A lot of times it sounds like this. I should edit this out of the video, but I'm going to keep it in so you know how dumb I sound 99% of the time. Not only is this one of the best open world games I have ever played, and it has one of the best forests in all of gaming. When you're in the forest, you really feel like you're in a damn forest. But it is so freaking realistic. I don't want to say you're a peasant because I don't know if that's technically what he is in this game. But you start off as a nobody, right? So when you go to fight people in this game, you actually suck. And it's really hard to fight people. And as you get further in the game, your character really grows. And I really respect how they don't hold your hand at all in this one. If you're really not up for the challenge and to take the time to play it, this game is not going to be for you. But if you give it a chance, and you take the time, you're really going to get lost in one of the best open world games I have ever freaking experienced. Ladies and gentlemen, in my opinion, these are the 10 best open world games on the Nintendo Switch. There were games that I looked up that by definition are open world, like Nier Automata or Nier Automata, whatever. It's one of my favorite games I've ever played. I would love to put it on this list, but I personally don't think it's an open world game, or at least it didn't feel like an open world game. But everywhere I looked online said it was open world. This is my list. In the comments, I would love to hear yours. Down below, let me know your favorite open world games on the Switch, or maybe your favorite open world games in general. I just like hearing from you guys. You could be anywhere else in the world right now, but you're right here watching my video. And Yeah, it means the world. It really does. Yeah, you guys know me. I'll see you very soon with a new video. Peace out.